Okay, last one, which I'm very excited about because I have made a lot of these, and you've done a lot of these. This is 2018, number 5. So this was a unit 1, but unfortunately we didn't get to use socks to do our description. But that's okay, it was still not too bad. The median teaching year for one high school is 6. The median teaching year for the other high school is 7. Identify which high school has each median and justify your answer. So I said median A will be the average of the 100th and 101st person. The way I got that was I took how many people were in the population, 200 plus 1 divided by 2, 100.5. Adding up the beginning will be, adding up from the beginning, that will be 7, between 7 and 10. Thus, the median for A has to be 7. Median for B will be the 111th person. This will be between 4 and 7. Thus, median B equals 6 since A had to be 7. So they wrote a lot of words that you can read. Let's see what the scoring guideline says. So it looks like there are 2 ways to get credit. Essentially correct if you state the median for B is 6. And median is 7 for A. Provide reasonable explanation of how the decision was made. Provide the definition of the median or explicitly applies the definition of median as a criterion. Provides the definition of median or explicitly applies the definition of a median as criterion in reaching their decision. So here I'm applying the definition of median. I'm finding what number is in the middle. So since I'm applying it, I have done that. Or state the median is 6 for B, 7 for A. State that high school B shows a skewed distribution or high school A shows a less skewed distribution. Provide a reasonable explanation of how the more skewed distribution would be the one with a larger separation between the mean and median. I don't like that one as much. I like the other one. Partially correct if you satisfied the first component and only one of the other 2 components. So whichever way you did it, if you did one, if you had 2 of the 3 components, but you had to do the correct identification. Note an incorrect statistical statement would result in the answer being lowered from an E to a P, but not from a P to an I. If either description is described as left skewed normal or approximately normal, if the median would indicate, if the discussion would indicate a median different from 7 for A or different from 6 for B. Part B should have gotten 7.73 or 7.7294 years of experience. It's a weighted average, so you take the 200 that had an average of 8.2 plus the 18 that had an average of 2.5 divided by 218. So here I got the right answer, and enough work is shown. Essentially correct. Partially correct if you add one of the 2 components. Part C. Essentially correct if you calculate that the appropriate interval is from 1 to 15.4 or 1 to 15. Correctly sums the counts of the data values in the numerator based on the interval provided. Computes the probability with 221 as the denominator. So let's just double check what they got. Yeah, they got the same thing. Essentially correct. Oh, this was essentially correct. Partially correct if you had 2 of the 3 components, or if you got the correct answer without supporting work. If you attempt to use the empirical rule. So empirical rule did not apply here because this curve is definitely not normally distributed. It is instead skewed to the right. So the empirical rule does not apply. You would have gotten an I. So if you just straight up said, oh, 1 standard deviation from the mean, that's 68%. Only in a normal distribution. If you mistakenly did the wrong interval, oh, it's saying error carried forward, basically. So if you got the wrong sum here, you still get credit for the divided by 221. So you still get partially correct. Okay, so it actually says if one of these two is missing, so either you didn't have this or you didn't have this, but you did get the correct answer, that you can still be scored with an essentially correct. If you did 1 to 16 instead of 1 to 15.4, that was also fine. This is a 3-parter, a normal one, not super weird like the last one. So you should know the drill by now. Pause it if you need to. This is a 4 out of 4.